I'm here with Jim Schaffer, Director, Sales Practice and Programs at Mindful Life, Mindful Work. Welcome, Jim.
Thanks for having me.
We're here today to talk about Jim's work with leaders, teams, and organizations. But first, let's hear a bit about his career trajectory and how it influences his work at Mindful Life, Mindful Work.
So, I've been in the workforce for 45 years, and although it spanned a long period of time, I've held two basic jobs, one or the other, during that period of time. The first is I'm either a salesperson out in the field looking to bring in revenue and new clients, or I've managed teams of salespeople, client success, pre and post sales support throughout North America. I started my career as a New England Life agent, focusing on doctors, young doctors, in the Harvard-related teaching hospitals, and then went on to spend 10 years in enterprise software. For the past 30, I've been in advertising, branding, marketing related industries in media, market research, big data analytics.
Wow, that's quite a career, Jim. I'd like to shift now a little bit and focus on a client-facing training you offer called the Path of Mastery. What exactly is the Path of Mastery training?
So the Path of Mastery training is based on the central paradox that I've observed in current present day business, which is we as employees are asked to do something on a daily basis that exists nowhere else in nature. Certainly in public companies, but also in private ones, we're asked to do more and more and more. And it's just like this, like this, like this, no matter what external conditions are. And the way excellence happens, just like if you were to observe a violinist or a sushi chef or a tennis pro, it's much more of practicing on a plateau for a while and practicing daily, daily, daily. And at some point, the skill level rises. And you might even backslide here and there. There will be improvement, though, along the way, and there will be long plateaus. That is a conundrum, which we all have to work under, and it's not going away, but very few people have the tools to do that. So I've designed a program to help people get off of what I call the treadmill or the stairmaster and onto a path of mastery. And it consists of experiential exercises, which take up a good part of the training, but also a framework on how to apply those experiential practices to the challenges they encounter in a given workday, how to develop a sort of stillness, why they should be present, not only how to, but why should they even be, how to stop weaving stories around things they encounter during the day, and how to embrace the very impermanence and change that they struggle with all the time.
Wow, that's fascinating. How does the training differ from other sales methodologies?
Sales methodologies, look, I've been through a dozen of them in 4.5 decades. Each one has some really good nuggets in it. And I might posit some have some harmful nuggets in there. But the problem with those is that they're temporary. There's so much evolution and growth and change in industry that people's commitment to these systems waver, and they just don't stick. So mine is oriented more towards the individuals themselves, how they can develop their own practice and follow it no matter where they are for the rest of their lives. And I offer this freely and confidently because it's what I've done over the past 30 years. And by the way, there were 15 years before that where I didn't have these tools. So I'm really confident about the workshop and the work and the design.
Wow, that's really interesting, Jim. Have you seen that the training has any impact on the organization as a whole? What has your experience been?
Well, my experience has been there is change in the organization as a whole. And part of that is twofold. Number one is in terms of mindfulness-based approaches, which I'm often ask, how is this different from anything else? A lot of offerings are coming in with tools that are all good stuff. I mean, it's helping people relax. It's taking stress out of the equation. It's setting positive intention before a meeting. But for the people I'm serving, it's just not enough. And it's often not often enough. And so the people I'm working with being client facing have pressure coming from their clients outside the organization and from inside the organization. They have it coming from above and below. And they really need something that can help them beyond just taking a few deep breaths before a meeting. And I'm not minimizing other mindfulness methodologies, but I'm trying to ask people to change their entire approach to work and process their workday completely differently. It's much more of a behavior change than these other things. And so once that happens, once behavior really changes, then I think you see people become more engaged, more joyful, more creative, and that's got to radiate outward in the organization. This work could be used for all different kinds of roles as well.
Wow, it sounds like really important work. What do you think is on the horizon for your work at Mindful Life, Mindful Work?
Well, so I was just talking about it. First of all, I believe in reinforced learning, and one of the things about this training is it takes place over a period minimum of a month, perhaps a quarter, and I'm on site 2 full days, and it can also, as I was alluding to, be applied to other populations within an organization. I firmly believe in something I call sustainable human resources. And that is, it's not going to help us to re-engineer the supply chain to become more sustainable, to build LEED certified buildings if the people inside of them are withering other than flourishing. I believe and I know that there's a tremendous amount of human spirit, creativity that is being wasted, literally resources wasted, because people are struggling with other things and non-productive things. And my goal is to work with populations to devote as much of that energy as possible towards getting the job done and improving the situation for the corporation and for those around them, and bring joy back in the process.
Wow, it's been really nice talking to you, Jim. Thank you for taking the time to share a bit about the work that you do.
Thank you for having me.
If you're interested in learning more about Jim's work at Mindful Life, Mindful Work, you can do so by visiting www.mindfullifemindfulwork.com.